Yeah. All right. Moving on. We got Benjamin Farr. He is the director of agroecology and land stewardship for the Deep Medicine Circle and the owner of Top Leaf Farms, a design build company focused on innovative ecological rooftop farming systems that help rewild our urban centers. A farmer for 25 years, Farmer Ben, has played key roles with bio-intensive land projects that have helped define regenerative practices and climate solutions that are scalable and can easily be replicated. Welcome, Benjamin. Sorry. But yeah, this is it. Yes.
Okay, great. All right, down to there. Okay. How's everyone doing? All right. I must say this is, I'm usually not in a group such as this. Everyone's so committed to recycling, reducing, helping our system like figure out this design dilemma that we have. And it's also the first time I've been introduced as Farmer Ben, and I appreciate that. Are there any other farmers in the audience? Okay, 1, 2. All right, and that's about right as far as how many farmers there are in our society. And I'm wanting to invite you all during this next 10 minutes. I'm going to try to make it as relevant to your work as possible, but invite you all to awaken or reawaken your radical imagination. Think of the ways in which we can change our system that you already are doing, but also what is it that's hindering, that's stopping us from doing that? Is it internal? Is it external? What is it that's stopping us from really engaging and changing the system that we have? Like I said, my name is Benjamin and Farmer Ben, and I work with the Deep Medicine Circle. I'm the director of agroecology and land stewardship. It's a 501c3 based here in the Bay that positions farmers as healthcare providers. And I'll speak to more about that. And I'm also the lead designer and owner of Top Leaf Farms. We're a local design build company that designs holistic ecological rooftop farms. And that's kind of the topic. I've really changed how I'm going to present to you all based on what I've heard so far. This is an amazing group. I'm really taken by everyone's commitment to this work. I saw Green Mary, who I met met 20 plus years ago at up in Sonoma County at the Soul Fest and in Hopland and stuff. So it's great to see people committed to the work. And also that we are in a place right now that is a response. We're all here almost in a response to a poorly designed system that didn't allow or didn't think of this waste stream. And now we're having to deal with it and figure it out. And we're also very privileged that we have the resources in this country to do so. So want to give a lot of thanks for your commitment to that. I titled this Composting the Ecosystem for Ecosystem Health. And the idea then is, again, what is that ecosystem that we're up against, whether it be policy, whether it be codes, whether it be people, especially in the different agencies that we work with and against sometimes. But I hope to share with you some of what we do. There's the timer. Okay. So I come from a long history of farmers in my family, but also I've had an incredible privilege to be on some beautiful places in the rural environment and farming at different scales, being the farm manager and building ecological systems. I'm a builder, I'm a father, I'm a farmer, I'm a land designer, landscape engineer. I tend to think of it as chiropractic work on the environment or on the landscape. You're doing minor tweaks to help assist the ecological system. And the farms and projects that I've involved myself in have been ones of they've been projects that are, how do you say it? Well, I'll come back to that one. Sorry, I lost that one. They've been beautiful projects. And they've been projects in which I've had to look at the system as an ecological system and not just a farm or a garden or a piece of land, not as a farm that's generating food, but a system that we're developing for its ecological function, and that the food is a byproduct of that function. And with some of these projects, a lot of these projects, what I was going to speak to is the people that initiate them, the people that instigate them, the people that carry them through. And in looking at the ecological system in contrast to this opinion or this perspective that people have, the imagination sometimes gets lost. And it's a very subtle thing often, and often we're so focused on the projects that we forget what some of these, what some of the potentials are of what we are able to create. In all of this, I realized it's about cycles, patterns, and feedback loops. These are a lot of what a lot of people have spoken to today, the different holistic natures of cycles, the different ecological patterns that we want to replicate, because in nature, there is no way, there is no waste. Everything is a feedback loop. And how can we close that feedback loop? So we need to ask, what if? We need to ask, what if we were to create more urban farms? And if we look at the water, the food, and the shelter, if we could incorporate the water, build food, and then put them on top of our buildings. And this is what drove me after about 15 years of farming, coming to the urban environment and looking at how to start building these farms. The NPK, people know what that stands for? What is it? Nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. That's right. These are the main micronutrients that we need to grow things. And then carbon and nitrogen, the way in which we cycle those back into the system. These are some, if people want to dive deeper into some ideas around these nutrient cycling after this talk, I'd love to share with that. But the compost nutrient cycle. So who here composts? Yes, that is the crowd. The composting, we need brown, we need green, and we need water, right? It's like a party. You're bringing everyone to the party, and you have to have critical mass. And when you have the critical mass, the music starts going, they need the water to stay hydrated. And then that is the engine that really gets going. And once it gets up to a certain groove, I guess, right, then it plateaus. And then we monitor that, we observe that. And then when it starts to die down, things start going chill and everything starts mellowing out, we churn that pile, right? And we get things moving again. Now, most of you know this about composting, and we do this at such large scales within our society that we also need to realize that some of the solutions can be smaller solutions based in different ways. These are at our farm, but also on the rooftop, which these formulas, I'm not going to get into this because of time, but I'm just going to go right to the rooftop stuff. So I started farming on this rooftop, which was Top Leaf Farms. And the goal here was to eliminate waste in the way in which we grew the food and also the food that was produced. So we harvested everything to order, basically. We put out our availability list. This is in 2016 before the pandemic, working with some of the top chefs in the East Bay. And we put our availability list, things were ordered, and then we only harvested what was ordered. In that response, we never went to market. We never went to stores where we're harvesting more. And then you're left, if anyone who's been to a farmer's market at the end, the farmer is there with still 20, 30, 40% of his product. And that is really hard because then what do? Well, now we have these recovery programs and different things, but often it goes back to the farm, big dinners and things, but then it also gets composted, which goes back into the soil, back into the nutrients, which is good. But it's also all that energy, the ecological footprint and the embodied energy are transformed, but they're also not, the potential isn't realized as far as providing growth, providing energy for ourselves and power for ourselves. So this is a 1/4 acre on 16 different rooftops. That transformed into our second project, which is the Rooftop Medicine Farm, which is in the territory of Wichin, which is North Oakland. It's a 1 acre rooftop farm, which is the largest on the West Coast. Turning around to check it out. Yeah, it's a really amazing project that's in combination with our farm on the coast, which is with Deep Medicine Circle, which is the Takeaway on a Way Up farm. It's the farm in the front, which you can see the beds aren't straight. That's working with the contours of the land. It's right off the coast in San Mateo. And the rooftop in Oakland and the one on the coast, we still harvest to what's being ordered, but what's being ordered is to our community partners. So these are our community partners in San Francisco here, but also in the East Bay, in which the food is given to them as a public health right and as certified organic food as wealth for their community, so as to help better their gut microbiome and their health in that respect. This is just how some of these roofs are planted with a diversity of plantings and functions. And what if we were able to rewild our urban environment and provide more beneficial insect habitat and pollinator habitat? And this is off of a model of farming as medicine that the Deep Medicine Circle has as an initiative, where we look at the people, the farming practices, the soil, and the food all within a closed loop system. And we're not having the externalities going out into the world. 10 minutes goes by really quick. So I had like all this other great stuff I wanted to share. We're going to open it up for questions. And this is just some of the food that we give to our partners. So last year we gave 20,000 pounds from the rooftop farm, and then another 20,000 from the first year at Takeaway on a Way Up. So over 30,000 pounds of food being taken out of the capitalistic kind of model. Economics are still good, but taking it out of the one that is extractive and given to these communities through their food banks. And what we found was that this was food that they normally weren't exposed to. They weren't normally exposed to certified organic, fresh, market-ready food. They were usually given the food that was kind of more on the waste stream. And the nutrient quality and density of that food and the love from the farmers who don't have the stress to grow that food is also translated in how it's being eaten.
Question.
Yes, questions.
Garbage companies are interested in turning organics into energy through anaerobic digestion.
Say that again. I was getting too.
Garbage companies are interested in turning organics into anaerobic digestion to make energy that they can sell to people. My perception is it's very important for the agricultural industry, like yourself,
Yes.
to convince the public that all the green stuff that we could turn into compost can be absorbed by the industry, by the ag industry. What got it started in Northern California was this great linkage between the urban centers and the valley farms.
Yeah, I would say
is that running out? And the question.
No, that's a great point, and at different appropriations of scale. So we don't take anything off of the roof, and all of the food waste and everything that we generate on the roof just gets composted right on top. So we're not moving any waste out of our system. It's all staying within that system. However, what you're saying with some of these larger, there was the point of, are we working to change or transform the system? And so I think that's also a good point to think about. We have to work with the system we have, but we're also transforming it too. Question.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Sorry.
No.
Okay, we can take one question. Who has not asked a question today? Who has a question? Over there, Jessica.
Jessica.
Do you conduct or host field trips for
We-
schools or community groups?
We do. Yes, we do. We have, on the rooftop, there's a volunteer day every Thursday that you can sign up for. You can also contact me if you're interested to come up there, anyone here, and show you what we're doing. And we also are working with Oakland Tech in their environmental sciences department to start an elective with the high school students. And we also have an agroecology fellowship that we're doing with the Office of Workforce Development here in San Francisco and Native American Health Center for urban indigenous youth. There is so many programs. Check out our website, see what we're doing. And I look forward to connecting with all of you later today.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yep.